Rise and shine on this beautiful day. All right. It's early. I haven't had a chance to do one of these early morning shows in a little while. Well, this morning I want to touch base in Romans. Romans chapter 1, starting with verse 16. All actuality, you should read the whole chapter of Romans. 16 is just where I want to start out. Well, Tizzy, haven't seen you in a little while. How are you? Good morning, good morning. I am blessed this morning. That I am. Ugh. Sorry, I kind of got a little bit of a runny nose and stuff, but it kind of goes with the territory with all of the cold mornings. Rodney Boyd, Lena, Susan, how are y'all doing? Yes, you're better and glad to be back. Great. Why were you gone? I have to ask. I don't know. You just kind of disappeared and hadn't seen you in a while. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to the reading. We can catch up here in a little bit. RRW. Oh. Anyway, all right. Starting with verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jews first, and then also to the Greek. For therein is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. And that we do. We tried to. We all tried to. Tell you one thing, if y'all are having any difficulties walking on faith, let me tell you, there's no easy solution. It is difficult. Not to discourage you by no means, I encourage it because the blessings afterwards are remarkable. But you really have to give up a lot of yourself to walk by faith. But in giving up yourself, you realize exactly who you are. And that is probably one of the most precious lessons ever learned. Remember I talked about that a while back, saying that when you become a child of God, you are that of a new creature. And you spend the rest of the time trying to figure out who you are. And, I'm actually just finding out and finally figuring out exactly who I am. And if it wasn't for humbling myself to live by faith, I don't think I would have ever learned that lesson. It is a lesson that I hold very dear to me. I thank God every day for that. Let's keep going. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath showed it unto them. For the invisible things, did it say invisible? Really? Huh. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that, when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but because but became I messed up where I was, but become vain in their imaginations, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Hmm. That makes you. I could be far off, but just some food for thought. You know, you find the truth and you understand the truth and you believe the truth, and that is what you focus your life around, and then you realize that the people around you may not have the truth as you see it, but they have some truth. That's why you should be very quick to listen and slow to speak. We can learn a lot from a lot of people. Everybody, I believe, is holding on to bits and pieces of what they figure is the truth. And it's our job to learn from that and distinguish the difference in what we believe and what they believe, and understand it is all a matter of perception. A perception that is given to us because of the way that we were raised or the foundations we were raised around. Um, And I've noticed that once I start realizing that more and more, and I start listening to people and their different thoughts on the matter, just because I listen to them doesn't mean I have to believe the same way. But in listening to them, other things have come to my attention. Um, Yet another lesson that is a beautiful lesson to learn. See, I try to be as dumb as I can when it comes to this, when it comes to what I had been taught before. That's why I don't trust anything that I was taught before. And now I read for myself, I pray for myself, and I ask God for understanding, and He teaches me what He needs to teach me. And that is where the magic begins, is when you are learning from God's Word and letting God be your teacher, the one that ultimately created everything, versus man, which has done nothing but destroy everything that God has created, just about. You know, uh, that's why in Philippians chapter 2 it says to seek out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You don't lean on someone else's understanding. That's why I encourage everybody. What I speak about is my opinion, is my interpretation. It is what God has shown me. But I invite y'all, I encourage y'all, please read up on it and study it yourself, and understand that I am man and I am fallible. This word is not. We're all on our own walks with God, however that is, and however that, and whichever which way it takes us. But we're all on our own walks, and we have to understand that first. Somebody's awake. I woke somebody up. All right, let's see. Where was I at? Professing themselves to be wise, they become fools. And change the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to incorruptible men, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Therefore God also gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worshipped and served the Creator more than the creation more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Who is blessed forever. Amen. Wait a minute. And serve the creation or Creator more than the creature, more than the Creator. This creature. Misread the word. That's what it was. Okay. For this, because God gives up on affection. Wow. Yes, I am doing good. It's about time I get to some of these comments. Let's see. Same 1 minute. Snowstorm is on its way to Indiana today. Yeah, there's been a lot of snowstorms up there. A lot of crazy and unusual weather. We're going tonight, or tonight maybe. Getting rain here. Morning, Tommy. Looks like you're doing good in the weather. Dog lips. Hello, Tommy. Yes. Swimming chill down now 5 and it's still coming. Ouch. Oh, y'all talking about all that weather. I was seeing a video yesterday, and I didn't get to see the whole video. I just seen the caption of it, and I think it was one of those conspiracy theory videos, but I don't know. But it had a picture of the United States, and up like North Carolina, Virginia, and going up that way, there was a big red dot, and they were talking about red skies and stuff like that. And then there's one over close to Oklahoma. I think it's over Arkansas. And well, thank you. I'm Paul Tizzy. Actually, you missed a lot. There was a lot of aggravation. I had to go and get my head straightened back out. And the way I do that is I go out in nature. I did what that guy right there, Dog Pound. He told me over and over to do it, and I never did listen to him. And when I did listen to him the first time, I was like, yeah, dummy, that was exactly what I needed. But he told me, he's like, stop and look at nature and look at his creation and soak that in for a little bit. Yeah, it works. Been avoiding my channel for a bit. Really. Eljo's in here. Uh-oh. But yeah, definitely, dog. I have to thank you for that one. See, I listen. I just don't do it on demand. I don't, you were telling me that a month or so ago, and yeah, it just took me a little while for it to sink in. But I finally tried it, and it works great. Get that one-on-one connection with God, and right now I'm over at a friend's house. I'm over at Sean's. He should be back from the store any minute, and then he'll jump on with us. But I'm over at his house. I come over here. He had some things on his honeydew list that his wife gave him that he, I don't think really wanted to. I don't know whether he didn't want to do them or he just wanted to have somebody help him or something or another. But they offered to pay me to do a few things, so I come over here to work for a little bit. So I've got some money for my. We haven't exactly found a campsite yet, but oh, I had to come up away from courtside for a little bit. I'm glad I got out of courtside when I did. Oh my goodness, that place is a muddy mess now. How's the car? I don't know. I have no earthly idea. That is the first car that I have ever put through that much aggravation, and it still keeps ticking. I don't know, but when I ran it out of oil, I did do some damage to it because now it rattles every time when you first start it. It rattles for a little bit. The motor will do this knocking and rattling stuff for a minute, and then it'll clear up. It's like I don't know, maybe the oil was too thin that I put in there. I don't know. It's the Timex, Tommy. Yeah, pretty much. That car, look, you know, I've never explained every detail on this thing, okay? But this car, all right, has got one brand new tire, a used one that wasn't no better than the one that I took off to replace it with, and then two other really bad tires. I've got one that the metal belt in the tire has snapped, so it's all deformed, and that has been like that for a month or so now. That has went across country like that and is still up and going. I don't know what kind of tire it is, but the thing's warped, and you can, when you get up to 65 mile an hour and it's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And don't ask me to do that again because, but anyway, and not to mention just I finally got the brakes working better. The brakes weren't all that great on it. But God said, he says, it's time to take off for a journey. And I was like, okay, cool. Where am I going? No, wait a minute. I don't like this idea. I got to leave. Hold on now. But I went ahead and did it. And he has let that vehicle last me this whole journey. And this journey has been way more than what I ever anticipated. It's way more than what I thought it was. Possibly overheated. Sounds like it wants to throw a rod. No. I know what that sounds like. No. It didn't overheat. It didn't. Nope. None of that. It's lifters. I'm almost certain of it. I'm no mechanic, but I know enough about motors. I've had my fair share of it. I just need to pop the valve covers and tighten up some lifters. Some 80-90 in it will make her run good again. Okay. 80-90. Wow. 80-90. What is 80-90? That sounds like some really thick stuff. You talking about like Lucas? Or what is it? Lucas or... Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you're right. It might throw a rod. I don't know. But we're not going to knock on wood. I still need the car for a little while. 80-90. Yeah, gear oil. Isn't that gear oil? You can't put gear oil in there, can you? That just doesn't sound right. Now, you put gear oil in your motor, and it just sounds like something bad's going to happen. I'll take your word for it. I know you're a mechanic and stuff, but are you sure? Because before I go putting gear oil, I mean, I trust you. Well, that's just scary. STP oil treatment. Now I've done that as a heavy weight oil. That the STP is good, but I like the Lucas. You get them in the big white containers like that, and I put one in every now and then because it takes a quart of oil every, I don't know, 300 miles or so. Uh, it's an old car salesman trick. Oh, okay. It must take a lot of them for it to get to that point. Yeah, it does leak a lot of oil. I never did find the leak. It's all over the bottom of it, but it's been like that ever since I bought it. I bought it like that. I went to a tow truck yard, and this car had been lived in, and the guy had been all over the place. Matter of fact, he used to live out there in Sub City. Some people actually recognized the car from that. Uh, Started to be thinking, it took me a while, but I started thinking of every rich douchebag preacher. You know why they're rich? You know why a preacher is rich? And I'm sorry, but this is about the only thing and this is my own personal opinion. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but Eljo, you couldn't be more correct. See, they build this church, and then they start getting the donations, and then they start getting offerings, and then they start getting the tithings, and they start getting all of this coming into the church, and the church boosts. It becomes a beautiful place. The pastor uh, ends up living in a mansion, and next thing you know, he's driving a Mercedes Benz around. The lower class preachers, usually Cadillac or something like that, but the bigger ones, Mercedes and so on, and I'm surprised they haven't come out with Maseratis and stuff. But any which way, they doing that. And what's really funny is these big old churches like that. You could not imagine how many people actually walk to that church. You cannot imagine how many people will walk to get all the way to a church and then walk back home and listen to Amanda sitting up there taking every dime that they can from that person. It's the reason why I don't like churches. I don't really care for churches. Me, you can ask anybody that knows me well enough and knows that yes, I do ask for money periodically, and there's been a lot of it, and but if I whatever I have, I freely give all the time. I'm always giving, and I've seen some. I know a few preachers now that they receive quite a bit of money at times, and and they have their own ministries, and they are very humble individuals. They don't have much of their own, and everything that they receive, they help people out with. They go feed the hungry things and stuff. See, me and Sean are working on some um, spirit retreats, camping things and stuff. And uh, let's see, what kind of car is it? Mitsubishi Montero Sport. It's late '90s model. Miss Shepherd says, "Good morning. It snowed there." One would travel across country in a car with no funds. Now one would travel cross country in a car with no funds. You couldn't be right. Couldn't be more correct on it. Nobody, none of them would. They'll have they. I don't know. That's when you take an act of faith, and you just. Seafoam in the gas and oil. That's true, Ronnie. Not to mention, that God will teach you if you get in a car. Um, teach you if you get any higher on faith and go preach. Yes, he will teach you, and he'll teach you a lot. Trust me, I've learned more on this insane journey than any journey I've been on. I just follow directions I can. Let's see. Wow, y'all. Okay, finally, I caught up. Okay. Oh, never mind. Wait a minute. There we go. All right. Good morning, Cat. Oh, Robin. Hey, what's up? I guess you made it home. You're okay now? Well, that was a bad trip on for Robin there. She come all the way down and didn't even make it to the RTR. I couldn't go and save her there because I had already left the RTR and I was north in the mountains. Found a beautiful place up in the mountains. Talk about getting one-on-one time with God. Ain't nobody or nothing around, and you got all the time in the world. Beautiful, beautiful. Can't wait to go back up there, but it's a little too cold right now. A little too cold, and I gotta wait on all this rain to go away. Tommy, you are the best when you're being yourself. You know, that was one of the things that that God showed me in this last little. I took a few days off and I got away. I did jump in a few chat rooms every now and then, but that was something that he showed me, is that I put too much emphasis on the negativity part of everything, and everyone gets it. Everyone gets negativity. You know, if I didn't have trolls and I didn't have people hating on what I was doing and speaking ridicule about me and trying to persecute me and things like that, if I didn't have that, I'd be doing something wrong. And it is a blessing because I see that and I know that I must be doing something right. So God told me not to donate, then don't donate. I know you have, Tommy, because I have done the journey over and over. You never stop. Yeah, I noticed that. And as long as you're willing to step out on faith, and as long as you're willing to learn, God will keep that insane journey going. And I am definitely willing to learn, but now's the time that I just need to, you know, settle down, have some time with just me and God, and I'm going to stop traveling for a little bit, so I'm trying to set up something a little bit more permanent. Still got to find something, so trolling got you all messed up for a few days. Yeah, it didn't mean to. It just aggravated me. It wasn't that it messed me up, because you know what? Really, I could care less what some people think about me. But where it really messes with you is, you know, you get too wrapped up into it. And I know a couple of you have told me over and over and over again. Matter of fact, somebody even made a message here lately and told me, it says, dude, we've been trying to tell you, don't give them any credit. And you know, they're just trying to get you riled up, and they did. They aggravated me, and that last stunt that they pulled really, really kind of pissed me off. You know, but I don't know what. Yeah, I don't understand the reasoning for anybody to literally pay somebody to come and cause trouble. You know what I mean? I didn't understand that one at all, and that one kind of really pissed me off. But hey, it is what it is. And they did try it. I have to give them credit for that. They tried. They're really dumb, though. Whoever did that was really not smart about it. But anyway, and I finally got fed up and I got that attitude where, you know what? I don't want to do YouTube anymore. I don't. And I decided I'm not going to. I'm going to quit. That's what I decided. I was sitting there thinking about it and thinking about it. And it's like, you know, it's something that God talking to you, you know, telling you, hey, why you want to give up? Why you want to quit? It's like, well, what's the point? You know, really, what's the point? You know, that's what I was looking at. Is what's the point? I get so much negativity out of it. And I went back and I started watching an old video, and I come across a video. I'm not going to name off the person, but I come across an old video, and I was listening what I was saying, and I guess I was talking with the group, and I realized that I was talking about what good has come out of the channel. And somebody had mentioned that, you know, that some of the things that I have some of the things that I've been through, or some of the things that I have said, and some of the things that I have talked about has actually helped a few people. And then come to find out, it's been quite a few people. There's been several people that has been touched by, whether it be a personal issue that I had to live through, or something I've said, or some verses that I've put out, some which way that God has talked and spread his message through me, and I let go, and I let him use me for a vessel to make another person closer to God. And when I got realizing what I was saying on this other video, I got thinking about it. Yeah, see, just like you said, through your devotions, I've been brought closer to God. And I got thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Even after I've got 700 and something subscribers, right? After it's all said and done, when all of these things end up drifting away eventually, maybe a few years or whatever. But when it's all said and done, out of 700 something people, there is going to be that handful of people that were affected in a good way. You know, and I got thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? I would be doing God himself an injustice by stopping what I'm doing. So I decided I'm definitely going to keep on with what I'm doing. I'm just not letting that get to me. So I am glad for that revelation there. So the Holy Ghost can save Eljo. We all can be saved. Yes, the Holy Ghost definitely can. Why did Eljo get brought up into this? Oh. Oh, yeah. Stay positive. Yep. Yes, it is. The Spirit is always strong in here. Today and every day. Well, not every day. Sometimes I'm a little short on that. Let's see. Don't stack up your treasures on earth. Yes, amen. strike while the time is right. You know, if I knew that you meant that from the bottom of your heart, I would tell you, find your way up here, and we will find a spot to baptize you. 700 subs, 300 watchers, 50 participants, and even one helped. Yes, let's do it. Participants and even one helped. Priceless, do you think? Yes. Oh, if one helped, yes. Now I understand it. It was, but yep. That's the revelation that was brought to my attention. It was like, I was ready to give up. I was done. Matter of fact, the last time that I did a live stream, when I said that I'm fixing, I meant what I said. I was gonna do nothing but videos, but I was aggravated. I was really upset about it. I let a lot of people get to me that shouldn't have even taken up space in my mind, if you understand what I mean. And when I got thinking about it and watching them old videos, I realized that, I have helped a few here and there. Like you said, even if it's just for one, even if all of this nonsense on this YouTube every day and pouring my whole life out there and going through all of the aggravation and putting every bit of my life out there, even if it was just to help one person, then I've done my job. So it was worth it. I was going to phone you after the video. I know you would be back. I knew you'd be back. Yeah. But this time I'm back because God has laid it on my heart that I need to keep doing this, and I need to keep this going in a positive way. So I'm not in it to worry about the comments. If you notice, I don't even read half of them. I'm trying to, but I love you, Tommy. Man, this is a guy with a sense of humor. I wasn't trying to be a sense of humor. I was being serious. If you mean that from the bottom of your heart, and you actually feel that way, and you want to change your life over, by all means, get your butt up here, and I'll baptize you in a heartbeat. And if you don't mind, I might have to add a few friends and maybe a priest or two. I'm not sure how to do the what is that called? Demon extraction. Yeah, I'm not too good at that part of it. Casting out demons. I don't know about that part yet too well, so I might need help. So don't be afraid when there's like several priests in a robe and stuff. Don't worry, they're not. I don't affiliate with any of the priests that most people see on the news. Exorcism. And the Lord saith, yeah. What is that? Baptism balloons? Baptism balloons. Yeah, I think my break did me good too. But can you imagine doing a baptism on Eljo? I love you to death, Eljo. I don't mean to poke fun. Yeah, I do. I do. I do mean to poke fun. I kind of really got to, because it's funny. Anyway, can you imagine doing a baptism with Eljo? I'm pretty sure the water, it would be one of the Moses tricks or something, where the water would just say, phew, gone. He'd boil all the water out in a matter of a second. No, Eljo's pretty good people. He's got a really dark sense of humor. I do for a living chug-a-lug duck. Richard, I'm pretty sure that's not a very good question to ask him, just by judging by the name. I'm not too sure if I want to know exactly what he does for a living. I still haven't heard from Jeff Dillman. No, we haven't. That is, I have been wanting to go by there and try to check out the only address that I knew, but I hadn't been back in Parker yet. The water would boil, yeah. I might need to get off here. Why? The Lord have provided RLF Productions. And also I'm worried about Jeff. Yes, which Eljo would start in the water. You think if we baptized Eljo that he would either start in the water or the water would just burn up and evaporate, or what do you think would happen? Just your opinion. No. I don't know how we got on this topic, but people have tried it many times. Do literally nothing happens. You're better off putting a stone in the water. Eljo says they've tried it. So, oh, you're reading it over there. A stoned stone. Good morning, fish. Come on, join in.
Top of the morning to you.
I'll let you finish where I left off. If you want.
I just got here.
Oh. Stone skipping water.
Stone skipping on water. Morning,
Was there anybody that would be offended if we did a wake and bake at the end of devotion?
Not to my knowledge.
Is there anybody that would be offended? Because if not, then we'll do a. If not, then we're going to sign off, and then we're going to do a wake and bake and start our day.
I want to go out to the lake and do a video from there.
Just hold.
But I don't know if we can go live from the lake.
A CPL. A couple extra minutes. Just hold them under a couple extra minutes. Yep.
You're to be born again, not to be like killed.
Fired up. Rodney says fired up, so.
Yeah, right.
Are you coming and joining in?
I will in a second. I'm still.
I just woke up.
Well, yeah.
You're going to see my sunglasses on top of my head and think, oh my goodness.
Did your wife wake you up and tell you to go wash the car?
Oh, she made you go wash the car this morning already? That's what took you so long.
Yeah.
She made, I don't blame her. I don't blame her. You left her car nasty.
I did. I parked it under a tree.
He parked it under a tree, and I looked at it, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm surprised that he was allowed to have any friends over after that one. And then I noticed after she come out and was looking at her car, I was like, uh-oh, I had to step away from that one. I was like, oh no, she hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Well, you could see how mad she was.
I'd take it off-roading if she'd let me.
Why would you take that car off-roading?
Toyota.
Well, then again, that thing's two-wheel drive with a bunch of bad tires, and you've seen where I take it.
Yeah, I was there with you.
Yeah. He was looking, he was like, are you serious?
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of like, for a second there on one of those trails, I was like, if he blows the tire, this is going to be a really fun experience.
Well, I don't know about fun experience, but definitely be interesting. Oh my goodness. That is a harsh taste per second. Morning. Yeah. I like Tommy. You found a niche. Comedy devotion. Props to you. That sounds good. Comedy devotion. Maybe we should look at the really funny stuff that it kind of makes you go, do a comedy devotion. That would be funny. Oh, I'm not a comedian. Although when I'm in a good mood and stuff, I do get quite quite comical. Ugh.
People joke around and still go to heaven.
Yes, I do. So. I hope so. I joke around a lot. You see links if I post one.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think the only way you can do it is if you were a moderator, and I don't have access to a way of making you a mod. I wouldn't have any problem with it, Mitch, but I just don't have a way to do it right now. But you can try to if you cut and paste it on there. But I don't think it's.
Rodney posted a link.
Yeah, Rodney just posted a link. I don't know what it's about, but I don't have my other phone. My other phone's dead. Anyway, so what'd you say was for this morning?
Oh,
we're going to.
I wanted to go to the lake.
You gonna go to the lake?
Do a devotion from there. Yeah, I wanted to see it so we could figure out. Like,
you pocketed it in my lighter, and you never passed the back.
Yeah.
Is this still mine that I put in there?
I don't know. Whatever you packed in that bowl is what we're smoking.
Oh, man, I think we're smoking the wrong one. This is the one that set you on the couch.
Okay.
I didn't want that one.
Yeah.
I don't need a lazy day.
Yeah, let me go get the other one.
I got the other one. I got another one right here. This is a good one. I was just saying what was in the bowl.
Yeah, no, I got the sativa inside.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got the one that's better for nighttime. Let's see. The other shepherds don't joke around in his church. You know something? I don't understand that. There has been so many preachers I've run into myself that you walk in the doors of the church and they're like, okay, you got to be perfectly normal. Well, that ain't normal. That just kind of looks psychotic. But you got to be sitting there. You got to be perfectly normal. You got to be quiet. You can't say anything. Nothing. You look like your whole world is at its end. You're just mad at everybody. That's the way they want you to look in church. Doesn't work. But when a person's smiling, you feel more positivity. I don't know. One to whoever wants one. No, what to? What?
Where's the bowl? What was wrong with my time? Oh.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of e-beggars, I shall fear no PayPal, for I never donate. That's a unique arrangement of words there. Hey, how are you? Good morning. Does she normally just poke her head out the door and stare at you? Oh, I just looked up and seen you there. I hadn't heard you.
His car had a clock on his car that was 4 minutes wrong. There was 4 minutes late for yesterday.
Uh-oh.
I fixed it.
My button is comfort. It comforts me. I guess S's won't be S's. Yes. S's won't be S's. They have no other choice but to be that. Let's see. Tommy is marijuana in one of the Bibles asking knowledge. There's different Bible versions. Is marijuana in one of the Bibles asking knowing there's different Bibles? No. Yes. Yes and no. I think it's what is the second book or is it the first chapter or second chapter of Genesis?
It's in the first chapter.
The first chapter. It's like 28 or so. Yeah, I know it's down there a little ways, but anyway, every seed-bearing plant was put on earth for our consumption, for our use, and
it's really simple, guys. If it comes
Yeah.
from nature, it's godly.
yeah, if it comes from nature, it's godly. And you know, it's for those of you that don't think it is, let's just side with you for just a second. Think this one out. All right, I have had a lot of trouble with my back. I have a knee that is completely messed up. I'm supposed to be on pain pills, and they supposedly, according to man's doctrine, I'm supposed to be on pain pills all the time, and I refuse any kind of medical, any kind of man-made medicine whatsoever. So for my ADD and for my pain, I take up smoking weed instead of pharmaceutical medicines. Now, pharmaceutical medicines do the same thing to you, but they add a bunch of harmful stuff to you. So let's just say for a second that the ones that think that it's not right is right about that. And if by chance I have that wrong, but I have it by good authority that I don't, I don't believe I am wrong with that one. But even if I am, there's another part of the Bible that tells you very simply that there's no one sin greater than the other. So if you have sin in your life, which everyone does, because if you don't have any kind of sin whatsoever in your life, then you are walking in a perfect life. And why you haven't walked up into heaven, I don't know. But with that being said, is why we don't judge the other one for their beliefs and for their opinions and for their understandings. Anything you want to add to that one? The question about the weed, is it in the Bible?
Yeah, it's herb.
It's herb. You want to add anything to it and make more sense?
The only reason why mankind views cannabis different than basil or oregano is because their government told them to. Simply put, you've been taught that one thing is more vicious than the other, which is a lie. You know, but all politicians lie. All entities are full of shit. And you know, we were all deceived. We all were raised under the Bush or the Reagan administration, where
Ronald Reagan lied.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Yeah,
Robert I can't never say that one.
I know who you're talking about.
Fettuccine, or
Yeah.
Isn't fettuccine? Isn't that a food? Isn't that like a noodle? It's a wet noodle.
Mm-hmm.
Fettuccine. Isn't it? Yeah. You can't know good if you don't see the bad.
Yeah. Obviously. Light and darkness are polar opposites.
That's funny, Tommy. Bullcrap wine. Fettuccine Alfredo. Fettuccine.
Good morning, horsey.
I know it's fettuccine. It's just a noodle.
Fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
It's delicious, but it starts out with just a noodle, a wet noodle at that. Oh my. Anyway, where am I? I am visiting at Sean's with Sean. Hanging out with him for a few days and doing some honeydews. It was on his honeydew list that I think he didn't want to do or wanted to watch me do, or I don't know, whatever. He offered to pay me a little bit to come over and do some honeydews, so.
I outsourced it.
Huh?
I outsourced it.
Yeah. Yeah. His wife has a big old honeydew list. So he just had me come over and help him narrow it down. We fixed one of the tiles on the hot tub part of the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we changed out some sprinkler system heads and
Pulled weeds.
the secret garden. It's off of the there's a little garden room. It's open to the outside, but it's got a wall and everything. You can't tell from the outside, or you can't tell from anywhere unless you go into the guest bedroom, which is where I stayed the night. That there's sliding doors, and then there's this little patio area, just big enough for maybe like a table and a couple of chairs or something. Not even big enough for a table and chairs, to tell you the truth. California. But anyway, I went in there and I dug all the weeds out of the rock, because it has this rock bed with like 5 cactuses, one of which I didn't even know was there. It was covered up with weeds, and yeah, it took me about 5 minutes pulling briars out of my hand. They went right through that glove. That's what I was hollering about the first time I was hollering you.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Well, I was grabbing chunks of the weeds about this big around, just grabbing them and pulling them out like that. And I just latched a hold is all I did. I never pulled on it, because instantly, as soon as I latched a hold of it, I knew I done had my hand on a cactus, because I knew that hurt, because I gripped and it went stunk into my hand. As a matter of fact, you can still see some of the dots. Matter of fact, that one bled a little. You know what I mean? When I grabbed a hold of that, that's what I hollered about. Yeah. But cool dog. Oh, speaking of dog, I gotta find me a dog. I gotta find me about a mid-sized big dog or whatever. That's just a big,
a big dumb dog.
Yeah, a big dumb dog. Because if I'm, I want one. I don't want to be going out there. I don't want to be set up out there in the desert and not have a dog around or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Can I bless the bag of weed that God has provided to you? No, I do say a prayer, and I'm blessing to weed when I get it.
Yeah.
I pray that it's used. I pray that it's used for what it's meant for, and it doesn't. That I don't accidentally overindulge, and I don't take it too far, and I don't end up like I was at the tree house over there, lazy as can be. Wouldn't get up and do anything, and stuff like that. And I don't smoke that much now. As a matter of fact, just a little bit that I've smoked since I've been here and stuff. That's been the most I've smoked in a month.
Yeah, you don't need much, When I went to the doc for my recommendation, I actually went to a real doctor and talked to him about it. And he had some knowledge on it, but not enough where, he led me in the right direction. Like, I had to do my own research.
Can you afford to feed it and you? Oh, I'll make a way to feed it and me. Yeah. Lonely is lonely, but cannot feed it. Mm-hmm. That's what Lost Dog asked.
Yeah.
I could feed it. Trust me, I'd take very good care of it. I brought my kids out there to Slab City when I first went out there. Taking care of my kids was never an issue. It was never a worry for me, because I already do that.
Oh, yeah, you're the type of person that would feed the dog before you'd feed yourself.
Yeah, I am. And anybody that knows me well enough, like he does, knows that about me. I'd make sure the dog ate before I did. It's just me, though.
Pets are your kids.
We made sure that the dogs had food and stuff, and it probably wouldn't have the same diet that everybody thinks it should have, because the last couple of dogs that I've had, not the last one. The last one was that was Selena's dog. I didn't really have very much to do with her at all, but the last dog I had, that dog literally ate out my plate. Yep. But very, very, very respectful. He would not come. He would come up there and he would ask, and if I'd tell him no, he'd turn around, walk off. He might whimper a little bit, but he'd turn around, walk off. There was never any begging, never nothing. I mean, I trained him really well. He'd come up there and ask, and if I'd give him a piece, that's fine. But he was really cool. It took me a long time, but what was that? Slab City's not a place for children. No, no, not really. But at the same time, it just depends. If you stay to yourself, then yeah, you know, people leave you alone. But it's when you get involved with the people around there, you get involved in too many different personalities, and you know, when you just gotta be careful who you let around you. I speak that from experience. Most everybody on this channel already knows what they've chewed me up and spit me out. Took everything I had. You know what I mean? All because I decided to go and do some work for God. But anyway, we're not going to get on that subject again. That was a drama from the past that needs to be left alone.
Leave the past in the past. Oh my God.
I know. I don't. That's why, you know what? That's why I was going to talk to y'all about that, and I was going to tell y'all. I think sometime within the next day or so, I'm going to do an auction. And I'm going to start auctioning because really I'm done with that. As far as Slab City and stuff, I really had no interest in ever going back there. And I'm not a person that keeps memorabilia. But when I see something cool, I'll, you know, and somebody gives me something cool, I end up keeping it. I've got so much stuff. I need to offload a bunch of stuff. I need to get rid of a bunch. And every time I look in my vehicle, I realize that I have bits and pieces of our journey. I have bits and pieces of Slab City. I have memorabilia for all of that. And I don't want it. So I may as well auction it off and make a little money off of it. And that way it gets me started because I'm, you know, we figured the area. We figured it, you know, now it's just a matter of finding the work and getting situated. I am staying put for a while. And I'm getting started, and I'd like to get a little apartment or something out this way, get a regular, I know I don't really care for the in-town thing and stuff like that. That's why I'm kind of hoping on some ranch type stuff or something, you know, just to get away. But
Mm-hmm. Please don't auction off Zane's hat. Yeah, you have to keep Zane's hat.
Who said please don't auction off Zane's hat?
That's what Kathy Jones said. Please don't auction off Zane's hat. I'm like, yeah, don't.
Toothbrush, maybe. A cabin, Tommy?
I think I have the toothbrush.
Yeah, the cabin idea that she was talking about. I would love to find it. You know, if I find a place up in the woods or something, you know, find a place where I can buy me a little place of land after I find some work and stuff, and I can start making payments on a little place of land or something. I'd like to get one of those sheds and put one of those sheds out there, insulate the inside, and build me a home out of it, and just have that, you know, off, and we could still build us a campsite area or whatever for the spirit retreats and stuff. Huh?
I'm up for that idea, but we have to probably go east. A little east for that.
Shepherd's Treehouse. Maybe start a GoFundMe for an RV or camper van. I have no idea how to start a GoFundMe. I've never figured it out. You can look into it and maybe start one, I guess. I don't know. I keep getting all the backlash every time I ask for any money. If I told them I was broke right now and I could use 15, 20 bucks and my PayPal's there, just by saying that, I'm going to get backlash. You know what I mean? That's how it's worked on that. That's why I don't say anything anymore.
Yeah.
That was not I wasn't trying to, no point intended. I was joking. I was joking about that, yeah. But you know,
how the parks are open for the public.
You know, I'm just saying, I mean, the PayPal is there. It's on the about page. You're more than welcome to it. Oh, I didn't say that, right? No. I'm picking at the ones that like to do that. I know I'm going to get some backlash for that, but maybe start a GoJobMe. Yeah, basically. That's what we're trying to do, the GoJobMe. Thanks for trying to be funny, though. Tiny house living. Yes, that would be awesome.
Dude, I've seen some of them tiny houses that like I'm like, that looks so awesome. Just the way that they come together, like it's like a jigsaw puzzle, but it's
Hey, I thought
appropriate, small, and everything.
this Shepherd's Gay House sucks and was not that. I thought that one was deleted out of there, cause that one just come on there saying some stupid shit.
Yeah, you might as well block that one too, Rob.
I don't know. Robert just blocked him. Yes, indeed. Oh yeah, I know. You always help when you have it. I know, and I wasn't saying. I was just saying that's why I was talking about the GoFundMe. I don't know anything about GoFundMe, and I removed the Be Happy house.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Be Happy. Oh, that's an original way to put it. Made me stop and think for a second.
Though, is put out to your subscribers, hire Shepherd to do work at your house, and you could actually plot it and go.
Oh man, they were already trying to. Yeah, well, it would work, but I'd have to know a lot of. I'd have to know details about the place before I was going.
There'd have to be a screening process.
Yeah,
that's not difficult to do though, from my end. I know how to research people. It used to be my job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I'm like dumb as can be when I research people, because just like I've had a bunch of comments before that really rattle me, and then I find out that there's some geek up in Northern Virginia or wherever it was. I don't know, something like that. Never seen or heard from that one again.
Yeah.
But I was getting threatening emails, and I was like. Who in the world is this? And it was because of having friends like that I was able to figure out who they were and figure out they're just somebody sitting in their mama's basement that's too bored to know what to do with themselves.
Get a hobby, man. That's my.
That is their hobby.
I know, but get off.
Mess with somebody's life is their hobby. But see, it's our own fault as creators. It is our own fault for letting that get to us. Because well, not everybody understands, but it's going to happen regardless, and it's like, all right,
Dog Pound's like, done. I'll hire you right now, Tommy. Come to Chicago. I need a driveway shovels if it ever stops snowing. Man, I don't know how you live in Chicago.
I would, but there's a problem with that.
My family.
There is a big problem with that. The problem is it's snow. The desert. I love the desert, but snow scares me. I don't like snow. That's cold.
Mm-hmm. Dude, Chicago gets cold as.
Oh, I know.
Like that's a whole nother. You got that wind that comes off the Great Lakes. Hell no.
Oh man, that night we were up there in the mountains. Look, we were in the mountains there. Where Arizona meets New Mexico.
Hell no.
We were way up there in the mountains, and there was like almost 2 foot of snow up there. And we was there at the state line.
Hell no.
It was like literally what was it, like 2 or 3 degrees out there, and it actually made it down to 0. And I was out there trying to cast jug.
You speak of.
That was the worst. The worst. I think it was about 4 or 5 hours of that whole trip. That was some bad stuff. That sucked.
Anybody from Wyoming?
We were at a gas station that got no business and stayed open all night.
That's why.
I talked to this crazy janitor guy that is like really crazy but cool as could be. He really kind of talks way out there, but he's a really cool guy. And anyway, I sat there and talked to him for a while. He felt bad because there wasn't nobody coming up to the gas station for gas or anything else. I mean, he gave me $5 worth of gas so I can able to make it to the next truck stop.
Awesome.
But that was cold. That sucked.
It sounds like it sucked.
Mm-hmm. The Arctic Air didn't have anyone you answer. Is that still that time? Wyoming,
Yeah, I was all
is that
about.
still a thing?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What? What is Wyoming? What is
Oh,
that?
you didn't hear what I said. I was like, is
Oh.
there anybody from Wyoming or anybody live up there? That place
Oh.
gets cold too, but it's beautiful in the summer.
Yeah. Anyway,
Wisconsin. Wisconsin, you can get a snowmobile and build like a snow globe for a sanctuary.
oh yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Anyway, all right. Well, we're gonna get our day started.
Yeah, we'll be on later.
We'll be on a little bit later. I hate to leave y'all when you got 28 of you in there, but love you guys. God bless. Have a wonderful day.
God bless y'all.
All right.